What's up, YouTube family? I'm back at you like I'm mad at you. But of course, I ain't turning my back on you. I'm looking forward to seeing you and chopping it up with you. This video, I want you to think, man. I want you to think about something regarding your mind and how simple and clear sometimes the Most High communicates to us. Sometimes we think the Most High is not communicating with us, or it's taking long to hear our prayers. And we feel like in some ways that it's a fight. It's more of a battle. I think we think it's more of a battle than it actually is to hear from the Most High, right? To hear from the heavens. But I beg to differ. The more I come closer to that still voice, the more I come closer. Mind you, it's a still voice, not like the voice you're hearing right now. Things I'm speaking of, that I'm speaking from, comes from the still voice. This volume right here is not still. But the still voice is something, it comes from a place of knowing. The Father, the Most High God, speaks from a place of knowing. Knowing is still. It's a still voice, right? And there's a scripture, I think is in Job, or it's another place in the Bible where it says God does speak to you in one way and then the other, just sometimes you recognize it not, right? It's the most simplest things. Sometimes in the most simplest forms that this communication comes to us, this guidance, these master keys comes to us, but we recognize it not. So check this out, right? Like, again, this channel is, I really want to bring alchemy, manifestation, God, the Bible, all of these things to you in layman's terms. Because if I went off into every little thing that justifies or gives me the conviction and reason why I believe the way things work, it'll take a long time, family. These videos will have to be much longer. Maybe sooner or later I'll do those kind of like teaching whiteboard and marker videos. They're gonna have to be longer. But I want you to get it in layman's terms. And sometimes I pray that you catch it in spirit so it don't take as much. That you may be able to register some things in the most simplest forms, family. The Most High communicates to us in some of the most simplest things that you've heard, things that have been said to you over the years, things that you've heard, like proverbs and aphorisms that you've heard for years. Some of these things are so profound, but because they so simple and some of them sound cliche, right? Like you can do anything you put your mind to. And you think, well, that ain't the most profound. That ain't the meat. You might not understand how much meat is in that alone because it's so simply given to you. That's the significance in the Most High. See, we sometimes need to hear all these educational words and all, we know all these, words, right? We know all these big words and these educated words and all that. But sometimes we need to hear proof on top of proof on top of proof in order to believe this is the way something works. In order to believe or to trust in something, right? When somebody can come and break something down for you on a certain kind of scientific level, sometimes you give them a little more, credit. You give them more benefit of the doubt because they gave you proof on top of proof on top of proof. It's like, it's like hearing some of those business strategies. You want to hear and see the proof. You want to see the Lamborghinis and the big houses and all that before you know that it really works. But at some point, those gurus didn't have that Lamborghini, they didn't have that house, yet they succeeded off the same business idea. Before they succeeded, they didn't have all those things, yet that still was a great idea that had accomplished them. And they were able to come online and sell that idea to you with the Lamborghini and the big house in the background. But what I'm saying to you is, it's kind of like, hear what I'm saying, family, some of the most richest master keys that you can get from the Most High, right? From the sovereign power and authority of the universe, is given to you in the most simplest form. But sometimes many of us need to see the Lamborghinis, the big house. We need to see the manifestations and the proof on top of proof, right? That's like seeing the cake before it's baked. You know, like, I need to see the business succeed first before I want to join. But somebody had to take that business from scratch and take it from 0 to 100, right? God is sometimes giving you the recipe in the most simplest form. But do you need proof on top of proof on top of proof before you choose to trust in it? Something as simple as you can do whatever you put your mind to. This is so significant, family, because there are many simple term statements like that, simple form, short phrases like that, that have been testified, right? That many have testified that is factual and have been actual in their lives, right? Yet we let those simple, short, basic forms get past us, going one and not the other. God is speaking to us, family, and I'm gonna get to where I'm going so simply, but because maybe it's not coming with so much proof on top of proof, right? We recognize it not. Again, it's like a great business idea that before it became saturated, before the whole world started doing it. Remember, everything was an idea before the whole world, before it became a fad, before it became a fashion, before it became an epidemic. Somebody had to originally take it when nobody understood it, when nobody recognized it, when nobody thought it was a big deal, right? And somebody had to believe in it when it was just in the simplest form. That is the way the master keys of the Most High is handed to us, family. In some of the most simplest forms, such as you can do anything you put your mind to. Now I want you to look at this. When we talk about you can do anything you put your mind to. And family, I want y'all to know there's so many, when we do, we're gonna mess around and just do some kind of teaching format at some point. I mean, the whiteboard and the wash away marker thing. I could really break down the science and the science behind a lot of things that I say in the most simplest forms. I think that giving it to you in layman's terms is the easiest way for you to apply it to your life. But I want you to get this. You can do anything you put your mind to, for example. Now, how do you take that? How do you perceive that? How many times have you heard that in your life? Many of you probably thinking right now, I believe in that. I understand that. You understand it to your particular extent. You understand it from your point of view. You applied it in your life in a certain measure, right? But how simple that sounds, how sometimes if you look at it in its most literal form, anything you put your mind to. Now here it is, right? People tell you all the time, if you sit and listen to negativity all day, negative things gonna happen in your life. They tell you this is so, right? They tell you if you bask in the negative things in life, then you'll bring more negative things to you. If you start thinking about negative things in life, you'll bring more negative things to you. And some of us have experiences in our lives, right? And we wonder how much is the positive things, how much does it take for the positive to start happening in our lives, right? But we are sure that if we entertain negative thoughts and negative things in our lives, right, then that negative comes to us. We are assured how much negative experiences will occur if we continue to entertain negative thoughts and energies. So I say to you, what is this dynamic on the most literal layman's terms? We've heard this so many times in our lives, and I want to share it with you. Because that is so. The negative that we entertain continues to come, the negative energies, and we dwell on these negative things. In the same way, family, now let's look at 100% of mental attention. Let's look at 100%, what it means to be 100%, right? Now, the simple term, form, and statement and phrase is that you can do anything you put your mind to. Now, think you have 100% mind. You have to realize when we look at movies, just think of the simplest things, right? When we look at movies, family, and I'm going to get to the point. Sometimes this movie could be about, I don't know, about robbing banks or some guy who broke out of jail and did, he was innocent and he had to go prove his innocence before he get caught, right? Before he can let him catch him because he ain't going back. Either way it go, whatever we're watching, we're putting our mind to. You might think watching a movie, this is an innocent movie. This movie ain't talking about devils. It ain't talking about demons, but you are still giving this movie your mind. Not saying nothing against that. I still like movies, right? But say you give, out of 100%, you give 20% to television. That could be movies. It could be reality TV. Either way it go, when you're watching it, you're giving a certain percentage of your mind to this activity. In that your mind is wrapping around what you're entertaining. Remember, it's called entertaining, like containment, maintaining something, right? To entertain, to box it in or to maintain it and to refrain it in some form, right? So if I'm watching something, even though it seems innocent, even though it's not, I don't seem bad, I'm still giving 20 at 100%. I'm giving 30% to entertainment. I'm giving another 30% to personal conflicts, right? Like the negativity on my mind that just comes to my mind about things that happened in the past, present, and worries of the future. Things that I'm worried about in the future. So that's another thing. Because when your mind, remember, we're talking about you can do anything you put your mind to. So if I'm putting my mind to even the things that seem harmless, innocuous, right? Like entertainment. I'm giving 30%, however much, could be more, to these activities, and my mind is wrapping around. Because why? Because if you're watching a movie, here it is. I'm gonna give it to you in layman's terms. Your mind is trying to wrap around what's going on in the movie. So say the guy breaking out of jail, he jump off the train, and he go on top of the roof, and he going from roof to roof. You watching it, your mind is trying to figure out what's going on, what's gonna happen next, right? Somebody betrayed him in the movie, right? Somebody betrayed him, and he trying to figure out who the snake is, and your mind, even in fun, is going to wrap itself up around what you're entertained by or with, right? So you're giving a certain percentage to this. Your mind is, listen, family, your mind has all of us have what we call a processing power, right? We're all given processing power, meaning everything happens in the mind first, right? That's why Christ said, I am the truth, the way, and the life. He considered himself to be where he is, in the mind. Where is Christ? In the mind. That's why they say in the Bible, put on the mind of Christ, because it's in the mind. So everything happens in the mind. That's why he said it's the truth, the way, and the life. He didn't say who he was, he said what he was, right? The truth, the way, the truth, and the life. Meaning, if this is the way, through the mind, right? Everything you're trying to manifest, accomplish, your salvation itself, it all is process happens in the mind, right? So if you're giving 20-30% to this, and your mind is trying to wrap them around, what's gonna happen? I wonder who snaked them. I wonder who the one that betrayed him. I wonder is he gonna get caught? Your mind, you're giving, whether it seems harmless or not, you're giving a certain percentage of your mind to that a day, meaning that television, that reality, that personal conflict, right? Those thoughts, that worry, right? If it's social media, maybe many of us, we looking online, we going and strolling, and our minds are captivated, profile after profile, depending on what we're stopping on and looking at, we're giving our minds to it. So we all want to be rich. We all want to be successful. We all want to be saved. But we're not realizing how much of our mind we're actually not giving to the thing that we want to accomplish. So when you think about doing anything you put your mind to, but throughout the day, you're giving 20 over here, 30 over here, another 20-30% over there. You're probably giving 90% of your mind to secular activities, or just maybe not harmless activity, but yet your mind wraps around these things. If I stop on a post that some girl was shaking her butt and she got hit by a train, or a bus, or if I see something happening stupid or funny, it could be just entertaining of any form of fashion. I'm wrapping my mind up around that for that moment. And in that moment, I'm giving a certain percentage of my 100% to that thing. And then I'm doing this each day. So listen to what I'm saying. We have to allow ourselves to be immersed in what we want to accomplish. Emerge, family. Emerge, which explains why the Bible talks about in 1 Corinthians 13, it said, think of things that that you excited about, things that you think make you thankful, things that are praiseworthy, things that make you happy. Because if you're immersing yourself in satisfaction, right? And I'm not talking about a good movie. I'm saying something that applies to you in your life. Because when he said think of these things, he's talking about things that make you happy, things that make you thankful, things that are praiseworthy in your life, things that make you smile. So when we watching movies, we wrapped up in somebody else's world trying to figure out what's gonna happen to them. When we get wrapped up in social media, right, in a certain form of fashion, we're looking at what's going on in somebody else's world and what's going to happen or what could happen in somebody else's life. But how much of your 100% of your mind are you engaging, or are you allowing to be wrapped your mind, giving your mind to what you desire and what you want to accomplish, or what you are accomplishing? How much of it? How much of the day? Some people succeed in a short time. That's why I don't believe in you gotta work hard, you gotta work long. No, you don't. It's different strokes for different folk. It depends on what you believe. Some people may succeed much more faster, sooner, and efficient than others. And it might have a lot to do with how they are immersed in what they set forth to accomplish, family. So when you think about simple things, the Most High communicating to us in the most simplest form, like do anything you put your mind to. Sometimes, family, that might seem simple, but we'll miss the richness in that if we don't know, because that still voice is annoying. In other words, he speaks to us in a knowing, in the knowing, because knowledge means to know the ledge. So what am I saying? Wasn't long ago before certain things came to me in the knowing, meaning now I know what you mean by this. Now I know what that means. In other words, you don't just look at like how we all understand, yeah, we put our minds to, we can do anything we put our minds to. No, now I get when I say the knowing, I only have 100% of my mind. And everything that I look at, right, because we thought we have been preached to certain things in such a religious fashion that we thought God, and they painted God out to be some petty religious, like square. Like he don't want you doing nothing fun. He don't want you, but no, where it's broken down and where it's explained and what it means is two different things. The knowing is, hey, there's a teaching in the Bible that's trying to tell you, like for example, these things right here are frivolous to your what you want to manifest, to your desires, to your goals. He's not saying there's something wrong with him to the extent that you pissing him off, but he's saying you looking at that TV show all day or once every day, how many hours you spend on the social media or this or that, or in your thoughts, worrying or whatever it is, you're giving your mind, your certain percentage of your mind, a big percentage of your mind to that. And you think, but I want to succeed. I want this, I want that, I want to do this. But how much of your mind are you giving to what you want? And how much of it are you giving to just frivolous things? Not bad things, but frivolous things. So imagine your mind being like a battery, fam. Imagine your mind being like a battery, in other words. And you need a certain amount of charge, right? A certain amount of power for you to execute your own personal goals. But if you giving some certain percentages of that battery force, right, that processing power to social media, I'm giving 20-30% to my worries and my inner conflicts, personal, negativities, the things that people bring my way. I entertain them long. I give them 20% of thinking about what she said and he did. If I give another 20-30% to TV time every day, that's like a battery that you're giving all your power away to, right? You're giving all your power with this. And then when it comes to your desires and wants, yeah, your mind is telling you want it this big, but you only got this much power left, this much processing power and force to process it with. Because you don't know that your mind literally is like a web, right? It's like the internet. It literally attaches itself up around that what you give it to be entertained by, right? Simple things, fam. You can do anything you put your mind to. Sounds so simple, sounds so cliche. But how much specifically and literally, when you look at it literally, how much are you giving your mind to external factors other than that of your own desires, that of your own goals, right? So we think we understand things, but there's a difference between thinking and knowing, believing and knowing, wanting and knowing. Now that we know, that still voice, again, is a knowing. That's why it's so still, because it's something that when God speaks to you, it's something that you already know. See, when you got on the mind of Christ, all of infinity, all of the wisdom of the Most High is there. You're not looking to find it. You're looking to unravel it. What you really have to do is unravel it. What you really have to do is discover it. It's already in there, right? You're not going out. Think about it. Some stuff came to you when you just sitting still, right? You watch certain videos, or you listen to certain audios, you read certain books, right? Different forms of studying and so forth. And they might have been teaching one thing or saying one thing, just like this video, and something else came to you. Something else clicked, right? You was like, you got what you got out of that book or that audio or whatever it was. And then something else that wasn't exactly said on the audio, it wasn't exactly written in the book, but it came in your mind. You were able to coordinate it. Somehow something else was revealed to you, like, right. So that's what this means to whatever. You was able to put something else together that you didn't read or hear. It came to you in the knowing. That's the still voice, family. The knowing. The knowing. This is when you get to the wisdom, right? Because you talk about knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's where you get to the wisdom part. When you know a certain thing. It's certain stuff that we take and we are motivated by things, inspired by things that we hear. We talk about those simple forms of communication. But when you know a thing, it'll have a different level, a different echelon of understanding and application to it. It'll have a different power. That's a different level of power when you know something. See, we think about Jesus and the story of the Lord. He knew certain. It wasn't things. He wasn't like us, but we trying to figure it out. He got to a place where he was in the knowing. So when he said he was one with the Father, he knew a lot of things. That still voice was there, that knowing. And so I ain't gonna hold you too much longer. Let's look, it's been 26, okay. But I want you to understand, at some point we're gonna just do it. Maybe I'll just make a whole nother channel at some point so I can show y'all how the breakdown of things. Because I realize some things that I share that maybe you don't know where I'm coming from the extent of information, experience, and so forth. Why I say things, they sound simple, but I said maybe they don't even really know all of that. It just hit me saying things, and it's not about me. I really think that this is the way the Most High communicates. Many a times, he's not the big word professor or, Harvard teacher necessarily. He's not speaking to us like that. Well, we have to go get dictionaries and, science books, and all those things are helpful. All those things do take us next to different levels of understanding and learning. Because, especially if you need to prove everything, right? But sometimes I'm sure that he speaks to us so simply. So simple, y'all, like in the simplest forms. In the simplest forms. I bear witness to it. There's certain things in my life that it took me to go through it and experience, right? Because again, I told you on this channel, it's just my next book coming out. Experiences are experiments, family. And out of my own experience, I was able to, out of my own experiences, say, that's what that was. That's what that is. That's how simple it was. But it seems so simple and so cliche. It can go on one and not the other. And even though you may have applied it to your life in some form or fashion, you may not knew or understood the depths of it. There's some things to your life, family, is what I'm telling you, that are coming to you. God is, the Most High is communicating to you in the simplest form. It's simple things that he's showing you, right? Sometimes he's teaching you things through your eyes, right? And you have to be mindful of that too, but because not everything you see, right, you believe, right? But if you're able to give your attention in your studies to things that you hear, that you experience, some of the simplest form will hit you, like you'll realize how powerful that's been all of these years. Just like you can do anything you put your mind to. Ask yourself, how long have you heard that? How, out of 100% of your mind, how much have you really applied it though? Right? Because I'm thinking like, man, I like good movies. I like music. That's why I have a tough time playing video games. Not against, I got a video game in my house. I barely play it. It's a game that I play with my son, and I'm able to play with 2 people at a time. I got it just so when my son is there, I can play with him, right? But it's a game I used to play when I was younger, but I've never been like a overly video game head. Like, times I play more than others, but I'm saying just to be able to put my mind to something for hours and hours that I knew I wouldn't go get none out of, it really, that was different for me. And I'm telling you guys that it's a reason for everything. Everything we experience, there's something going on, there's something being said, there's something that you're hearing in its most simplest form. Like, you can do anything you put your mind to. At 100%, 100, how much percentage of that are you giving to that? So, because when you're looking on those social media, your mind is going there to what you're looking at. And like a net, is a web is wrapping itself up around what you're reading, what you're looking at, what you've been laughing at, what you're entertained by. It's entertained by that. Entertained. So it's trying to figure out the movie you watch. It wants to know what's going to happen next. Is this guy going to get caught? Who is this traitor? Who is the, however the story go, your mind is giving a certain percentage to that. It's trying to figure out everything that you give it to. You see what I'm saying? So when you think about your goals and everything, imagine giving yourself literally 100% of your mind to your goals and immersing your mind in those goals. It'll be different. You can't lose. I guarantee you're gonna succeed. I guarantee if you apply that on this level that you know now, and you understand what it really means on a knowing, because that's knowledge. But now you know it on a wisdom level, to be wise. You have a little more understanding of what it means to know what that means, right? Something like that. And we'll come back and we'll do other simple phrases and statements and aphorisms that we heard for years, and we'll break those down on a knowing level and how we can apply them into our lives on a much higher level, a higher scale. Imagine if you did that. You immerse yourself we have to say, man, I can't, at some point of the day, I got to relax. Trust me, I get it. We don't want to be in the books and studying and, going through coaches and, listening to coaches and 24/7. We have to relax our mind. We think, right? We have to relax our mind at some point. I believe that if you even if you go from at least give your goals, if you give your goals 60 to 80%, your desires, give them, I would say 70%, and get the other 30% of your day to relaxing. And when I mean relax, I'm not talking about physically relaxing. You can physically relax whenever you can, right? Because you can be relaxing and doing it and focusing on your goals and so forth in some fashion. But I'm saying if you say, okay, I'm going to give 70% of my mind, allow my mind to wrap around my goal in some form of fashion, whether it's a coaching session, it's on your laptop, putting in the work, and never have that come. And then I get the other 30% to just relaxing, whether that's, hanging out with your kids or whatever it is you're doing. Because even when you're cooking, see, some of y'all, even when you're cooking, you can be putting your mind could be, you can still be giving a certain percentage of your mind to your goals and your desires. Because you can be cooking and listening to something that's edifying to your goals. You could be doing something while you meat, or you got something boiling. You can be doing something at the table, right, that's edifying or conducive to your goals in between cooking. So we're not saying that you can't do anything else in between this time out of that 100%, right? But I'm saying as far as your mind, we're talking about your mind, family. Because I want to do another video on what it means to, what the Bible say, whatever you do, do it unto the Lord. I want you to understand what that means. Maybe I'm going to do that video next. that I want to help people with when it comes to, so you're not registered as having a job, even if you do go to work or something like that. What it means to be there but not be there, right? Because your mind is with the Lord. But anywho, you can be doing other things, fam, throughout the day, and your mind still be dedicated to your goals. Your mind still be dedicated to your desired reality. So I wanted to share that with you. Some things, family, we don't need proof on top of proof on top of proof. God is not He's not coming to explain himself like that to us. He's here to guide us. The Most High wants to guide us, not explain himself every step of the way. That's where you need proof on top of proof. It's good to have that. It's good to have that research and all that, for especially for those when you want to teach others in certain levels of teaching. But when we're being guided, sometimes it comes in the most simplest form. The most simplest form. You can do anything you put your mind to, such as that. You got 100% of your mind, and it's like a web. And even if you're just entertaining yourself with laughs, a good move, whatever it is, your mind will aim at that, figuring out that thing, and wrap itself up around that, and you'll think that you're giving your mind to your goals, but actually you gave 70% of your mind to frivolous things throughout the day. Just think about that, family. I want you to know the simplest forms the Most High communicates to us. Don't ever feel like he's not, or it doesn't answer our call. Yes, it does. But sometimes we recognize it not, because we're looking for proof on top of proof on top of proof. To the next video, family. Immerse yourself. 100% of your mind, you got 100%. How will you delegate that 100%? How much will you delegate to your goals, to your desires? And how much will you delegate it to the other things that we find ourselves indulging in throughout the days, 24 hours each day? Simple things, family. To the next video. Peace, positivity, optimism, power, and abundance. Water.